Welcome to all my friends who are live streaming in. Happy Easter, March 31st, 2024. That's the information if you're watching it recorded. Anyway, it's Greg and Looney, the yoga cat, and we are enjoying a peaceful and sacred Easter. And Easter seems a most wonderful day for humans of all persuasions who honor the holy, sacred, and reverent in the way that you do to restore and renew, to do some good yoga and to eat cat treats on this special day. So Looney likes to enjoy cat treats at the start of class. Welcome to my Zoom friends, and welcome to all the YouTubers who are growing in numbers. It's great to have you join the tribe. Thank you for liking and subscribing. We have an amazing group of people tuning in to watch yoga for everybody. And Sunday is always a wonderful day in general because we do yin yoga, restorative, and relax. And this Sunday is an excellent day in particular because whatever your faith or persuasion, it's a day to honor the holy, sacred, and reverent to the degree that you do. I certainly do. I don't stand in my own light. I do know that. So settle in. You can start on your back. We usually start with approximately 10 minutes of Shavasana, which means lying on your back, or you could sit. I sit because I kind of have to manage the analytics and the camera and the YouTube and the feed my cat, but I'm right here with you. And if you do anything that cultivates a calming and pacification of your mind, then you'll be participating. One of the primary definitions of yoga is when the turbulence of our mind settles. And that, my friends, is a practice. For most humans, it either doesn't come naturally or it has to be learned after a long period of mental and emotional disruption. Welcome if you're just getting in on YouTube. Nice to have you. The theme of today's Easter class is restoring renewal, coming to life. Nice deep breath together. There's no rush, there's no urgency to get to the next better thing. It's good to practice contentment and the appreciation for this very moment, such as it is. This is not to say the future won't be filled with wonder and glory. Of course it will, but you don't want to miss the right now because this is where we live. Maybe if you're on your back, wiggle your legs out a little bit. Swallow once, circle your jaw around. And let your attention withdraw inward. We're very distracted and seduced, if you will, by the fascinations of the outer world, aren't we? Not just the fascinations, the duties, the obligations, the requirements, the distractions, the aggravations. And we simply put all that aside for a few moments and we practice turning our searchlights inward. More people joining on live stream YouTube. Great to see you. If you're watching this off in the future, recorded, welcome. It doesn't matter what day you watch this, it just matters that you're watching it when you do. Now, perhaps we can move our breathing down to our belly button. Make a meditation. Means to pay attention. Pay attention to the rise and the fall of your belly button. A couple more minutes on the back, and then we'll start with our sacred movement for the day. And since we're breathing more deeply into our body where we feel, let's observe, witness our own feeling nature, not repress it, not shove it down, not deny it, but also not to amplify it or to exaggerate it, simply to be real about what we're feeling. Listen to our body, it's sending us a signal nonstop. If we learn to listen to it and respond intelligently, we will be well served. The body has a wisdom, and the body never forgets. Or, as I like to say, breathe what you feel and feel what you breathe. They are two sides of the same coin. Good job feeling your feelings. And when we're concluding that part, then we take the biggest inhale that we can, feeling all of it. Biggest inhale. Exhale, release it all, pull the plug, drain your brain, empty out like a kiddie's plastic swimming pool. Pull that plug, let it all drain out. We are calm and peaceful souls. Good. Now, I recommend you wiggle your fingers and toes and circulate feel good through your body, consciously generated springtime regenerative, restorative feel good through your body. It's a wonderful habit. There are good habits, you know. We pay a lot of attention to our bad habits, don't we? And there's a reason for that. We want to clean that up. But man, you get some good habits going on, you are well on your way. So circulate feel good through your body. Good. And then take your arms up over your head, turn your palms back, and stretch out on the floor like my cat does. Stretch out nice and long. Get that writhy, stretchy, first thing in the morning, feel good feeling through your body. Good. Then while you're on your back, gently bring your knees into your chest and just roll around on your back a little bit. Today we're going to call that Easter egg. You're an Easter egg kind of rolling around on your back with your knees in. Other way. Good, my friends. And then let's sit up together, shall we? So, welcome to my Zoom friends, and then welcome to all the YouTubers. This YouTube channel called Upward Spiral Yoga has been growing for about 2 years. I started very rough and it's still quite small, but it's beginning to gain momentum, and it's because of friends liking and subscribing. And I believe that yoga delivers a beautiful, much needed message to the world of peace and calm and love and tolerance and the pursuit of the highest that we know. And the world can use a lot of yoga right now. But in many cases, yoga seems exclusive and hard to participate in if we're not necessarily a 25-year-old acrobat or circus performer or Lululemon model. It's great. That phase of life is wonderful. But if you're in a different phase of your life, you're at a different phase of your development, you need a tribe that understands and can give you the movements that can help. And that's where I see what it is that I can help with. I've been doing that for a long time, doing my best to make yoga as inclusive for everybody and give everybody not an equal outcome. That's impossible. There's no such thing as equal outcome, but there is such a thing, and it's a spiritual truth, that equal opportunity. So we're going to move and groove a little bit. It's yoga for everybody. Do what you can. And today's theme is the sacred. It's a very challenging word, and you don't have to be religious or spiritual per se to join in this class. But I think a good quality would be an open mind, a willingness, a questioning, and an inquiry as to the nature of your own being. And Easter is a remarkable day in that regard. People believe a lot of different things, but if you were to boil all spiritual and religious belief down into one quality, it's this sense of the sacred. And do you have a sense of the sacred? How shall we divide sacred? A sense of the highest that we know, the greatest value, the highest ideal, the thing that makes us most reverent, that brings awe, that stimulates the deepest love and appreciation and respect. So anyway, that's what we're up to. Now, my cat thinks cat treats are sacred. This is Looney. Love is sacred, certainly. Looney's my yoga cat. He's 14 months old now. He's my yoga cat. He teaches me restorative yoga, and then I teach it to you. He's purring so loud. He knows how to relax fully. Plus YouTube viewership goes up when Looney's on camera, which is why I always bring cat treats out, 2 more for you. So with respect to sacred, we're going to start with our hands in prayer. Yogis call it Anjali Mudra. You can call it prayer. You can call it having your hands together. So close your eyes, drop your chin, and feel around within yourself for whatever you find sacred, holy, reverent, the deepest felt sense of connection within you. If you seek it, you'll find it. If you don't seek it, you won't find it. And today's little prayer, invocation, affirmation, intention, God, love, source, infinite, whatever you like to be called. Just as long as we call upon you, bless us with the true meaning of this day, the regeneration, the restoration of our life, of our hope, and our well-being. All right, we're going to chant an Om together. Oming is an important part of my practice. Inhale. Feel that? Okay, so on Sunday, sacred self-care class, which this is, do not scratch my toe. Please. Ow, ow, that hurts. That hurts. Suddenly we went from the sacred to the profane. Goodbye. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to do a little bit of joint juice. Shoulders, 1, 2, 3. Just get our bodies warmed up so the restorative yoga comes nice and easy. Wow, that's a lot of blood squirting out of my arm right there. Other way, 1, 2, 3, He's well-meaning. 7, 8. Okay, we'll open up our shoulders now. Arms out, behind your back, up your back for some poofs. Doesn't the word poof represent the highest of the sacred? A universe that poofs into experience 13 billion years ago, poof, out of absolutely pure nothing. There can't be something before the universe. So there's a miracle for you. Poof. I'm one of those miraculously minded people. I think the beginning of the universe is a miracle, so that's the precondition for every succeeding miracle. You don't have to think that way. That's a miracle, is you can think however you want. I think that's a miracle. Poof. Good job. All right, now we're going to drop our chin. We'll take our head around 8 times. 1, 2, 3. Regardless of what you believe or not, if you're in this class and you're just moving, then that qualifies. Bring the body and other things will click into place oftentimes. 6, 7, 8. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think one of the ways to find the sacred, the reverent, and the holy is not to think about it so much, but to actually stop thinking. 7. So try it. Drop your chin down, close your eyes, and I'm going to deliver the most unusual instruction. Stop thinking. Stop the grinding of your mind. If reality is inherently sacred, holy, and reverent, oftentimes it's the noise of our mind that blocks it or obstructs it. So quieting our minds often is the doorway, the portal to actually experiencing it. Good job. Okay, now just gently lean back on your hands. Well, what kind of yoga is this? It's the sitting with your legs crossed, leaning it back on your hands kind. Now, to counter all the sitting that we've done all week long, just gently lift your butt up a little. If you're super bendy, acrobat, 13-year-old Romanian gymnast, you could do something crazy, but just lifting your buns. Remember, this is the class for everybody, inclusive. And come on down. It's inclusive, and we're a very diverse group, aren't we? We could be all the way around the world, all shapes and sizes, creeds and colors, ages and belief systems. And what's available for all of us is equality of opportunity. If you move, it'll happen for you. Okay, now we're going to chant another Om. I switched the cross of my legs, by the way. Big inhale. Feel that. Now, it's one thing to consider or think about the sacred or wonder about it or disbelieve it wherever you are. It's a whole nother thing to actually experience it. It's the difference between reading the menu at a brand new restaurant or eating the food and having it become your favorite restaurant. Okay, now we switch the cross of our legs. I'm going to lean back on my hands and lift my buns up, stretch the front of my body. That's a good thing for maybe us adults. Maybe you're older than 40 I've been older than 40 for a while now, but the body still operates nicely. I'm grateful that it does the things that I most enjoy. Switch around the cross of your legs. This is back to my original cross. Now, when it comes to doing a seated forward fold, if your knees are way up like this, and when you come forward, it's just your head caves down, that's not really very good for us. So I know you have a blanket somewhere in your house, and if you have tight legs and your knees are up, sit on top of a blanket. It'll tilt your pelvis forward, and and also blocks are really good to support you like this as you come down, but you just don't want to hunch down. You want to keep a long spine. If you're rather adept at forward folding, here's a nice restorative forward fold right here. Another variation is if you're a little more flexible, this is one I like to do for yin, is just rest my forehead. Anyway, you got to do what you can do. You do the possible. God, love, source will do the impossible. So again, that's pretty diverse and inclusive that I just said, isn't it? You can be up here and start to lean forward and open up over time, or you can sit on top of your blanket. You can actually begin to feel your hips, knees, legs, ankles begin to open up. Use your arms for support. Don't force, don't bounce. And if you're more flexible, if you want, you can bring your head all the way down to the floor. Many people find that not a problem, but it's not a competition and it's not who can go the furthest. And now the yoga begins, the quiet, peaceful introspection. Now, when the body comes still, oftentimes the mind runs rampant, like a little 2-year-old running around, tipping stuff over and lighting the drapes on fire and pulling the silverware drawer all the way out. And that's what 2-year-olds do. And that's fine, that's 2 years old, but we shouldn't have a 2-year-old mind. Our mind needs to learn to mind, to behave, as Austin Powers says. Then you'll go through a host of emotional states. An important one is boredom. This is boring. I need to be looking at TikTok. What's for breakfast? Who am I going to talk to today? What shall I buy? What's on TV? What will I do for the rest of my life? Distraction, boredom. Be here now and something will open up when you move through boredom. Boredom is a doorway to fascination, interest, inspiration, guidance, fulfillment, contentment. Okay, my friends, and we'll come up. Good. So we got a nice seated forward fold in today. That's great. That's a good way to get our bodies open for the restorative yoga coming. I promise it's coming. All right, now, how about these hands of ours and wrists? Boy, that's some nice blood squirting out of that arm. If you weren't here earlier, my cat lovingly performed a transfusion on me. Okay, arms out, palms up, bend your wrists, this shape, the Egyptian shape, dorsiflexion, and lean into your palms. This is very dicey for many, so don't overdo it, don't underdo it. Drop your chin, close your eyes. Maybe sometimes in order to feel holy, sacred, and reverent, we can stay away from we don't need the most austere, oblique, esoteric, spiritual principles shoved down our throats. We might need to just open up the stiffness of our body, wake up our joints, get moving and breathing a little bit. Maybe that will condition our minds to be more receptive to all the spiritual principles that are available to us. If the body's a wreck, it doesn't preclude our spiritual advancement by any means. Many saints have been physically troubled, but there's something to be said for bringing about a health and a well-being to our body. Relax, easy does it. Good. All right, and now mercifully we'll open that up. Switched around. If you're new to this, lace your hands in front of your face, roll it around. I call it Ms. Pac-Man. Wob, 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 wob. Other way. Shake away cares and worries. See, just in a couple of minutes, we've gone through the primary parts of our body, many of them, and just get ourselves open. I always thought that they should do this in church or synagogue. People come in and just do a little joint juice. Then, hello, restoration. Hello, springtime of the spirit. Cup your hands at your heart and let's feel that ineffable, mysterious word, sacred. Sacred could also, another definition of sacred is what you hold to be the most important of life. So what might that be for some people? It could be their car or their profession or their reputation or the money that's in the bank. Sacred is the reverence you give to the highest that you know. Okay, now we're just going to open up our feet and ankles and then we'll move into some yummy restorative yoga. So extend your left leg out like this. And if you're not flexible enough to get your right ankle over your knee, then boy, have you found the right tribe. If this won't go over the top, then keep coming back. Now from here, I like to fold this shin under, but you don't have to. All I want to do is grab my right shin with my right hand and circulate my cold foot. I tend to have cold feet. Super warm heart though, other way. Just waking up my feeties. Good. Slap my foot a little bit, wake it up, get some life force alive down there. Okay, extend your right leg out. Just your ankle over the top. This would be a perfectly sufficient way of doing this. If you can fold your right shin under, cool. And then crank a doodle dandy. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is in the owner's manual of the human body. It's odd that we're not given that. Yogis have given it to us, but just ways of moving that keep the body the functional, delightful vehicle. The temple, I hold that the body is a temple of the spirit, and so it should be treated well. And honestly, I lived a great deal of my life sort of, how shall we say, besmirching the temple, but I've been trying to do better for a while now. Good job. Slap your foot. All right. Stretch your legs out. And stretch toes open as wide as you can, like swim fins. Stretch up. Now, good posture. Think of the optometrist. Bad posture is 5. Good posture is 6. You're at the optometrist. 5, 6. Get it? For those who have ears. Let me say that again since we're at the optometrist. For those who have eyes, let them see. 5, 6. Good. Hands and feet down. Last off. Good. All right. Now let the deep restorative in yin begin. So for that, I have yoga bolsters because I had a yoga studio before the pandemic, a whopping big one for 10 years. And then life came along, but I'm grateful for all that. Anyway, I have a lot of bolsters. Do you have a bolster? Big pad? If you don't have a bolster, you could use blankets. So here are just standard blankets. They don't have to be yoga blankets. There's not much difference between a yoga blanket and a blanket, except for the price. Yoga blankets generally cost more. So that's some blankets folded up in the same shape. But since I have bolsters, I believe in the law of least resistance. So I'm going to put the bolster out in front of me. We're going to do a really nice restorative twist, okay? And you just follow along and find this pose where it fits your body. So here's this bolster out in front of me. It could be 2 or 3 blankets. I don't know, 3 feet this way and a foot wide, and what's that? 8 or 9 inches tall, roughly. So now I'm going to turn my knees over to the left. Now my right hand is on the bolster, correct? Now I'm going to fold my knees and ankles around behind me. I look back and there are my knees. It looks like I'm sitting like a mermaid. And then I put both my hands on the bolster. I push back to stretch and get my body ready to twist. And it might be if you're really tight, I'll show this pose from the other angle, in case you happen to be new. A lot of new people on YouTube watching. So anyway, see how my knees and ankles are folded around behind? Now I'm turning and just lay face down on the bolster on your right ear. Widen your arms out and let's relax together, shall we? We're going to spend a few minutes in this. We're going to cultivate a deep sense of release. And in that release and relaxation, in the quieting of our mind, the holy, the sacred, the deepest meaning of this profound day, from whatever angle you approach it, will come to you. You can take your time in this. If you're wildly flexible and you're just not happy unless you do a little more, you could come up, you could take your bolster over to 1 o'clock and you could come down to your left ear, but remember the purpose, the meaning, the theme of this class is a more calm, peaceful, accommodating type of movement, position, I should say. Relax in. Let your breath slow down. Let a deep wave of peace and calm and trust percolate through your system. Easy does it. Let your breathing divert down to your belly button. Let your inhalations and exhalations deepen a bit. No rush. So we might say the pose starts now rather than ends. So now our body begins to trust that we're going to give time and space, reverence, attention to calming down and releasing and relaxing. The body's listening and responding. Couple more minutes. Enjoy. Enjoy. INJOY. Okay, begin to come back toward your body. Breathe back toward your skin. Good. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Circulate super feel good through yourself. All right, we'll bring our hands in. We'll come up out of the pose very slowly. You wouldn't want to rush up out of that, would you? You want to enjoy the departure. Anyway, we're going to unwind ourselves and we're going to take our time positioning ourselves into part two. There's no rush. Do you tend to rush around from everything? Are you always in the fast lane, blinking your lights at people? Do you have a bumper sticker like I do that says, if you don't like the way I drive to yoga class, get the hell out of the emergency lane? So I need to calm down, slow down a lot. Let's chant an Om together. It's really, really, really good for you. Inhale. We are calm and peaceful souls, being restored, regenerated, and renewed on this sacred day. Okay, side 2 of restorative twist. To do that, the bolster is right in front of us. Now I'm going to spin my knees, still sitting cross-legged. My knees are over to the right. It's good to support yourself on your left hand. Then I think you know the drill now. These knees, you just curl them around behind you, which is a yoga, isn't it? I look back behind me, my ankles are crossed. My knees are lined up now. I turn to the front. I push back a little bit to get a nice long systemic stretch of the whole side seam of my body. I'm starting to turn my torso to the left. I put my left hand over here. Maybe I'll angle my bolster over a little if I'm feeling stretchy. You don't have to. Now, from my belly button through my t-shirt, I'm aiming that down onto the blankets or the bolster because, of course, you could be using a bunch of blankets or pillows. Now, face down at the last moment, turn to your left ear. Now, at the start, a lot of times your hands are up because it's not easy to relax in, but over time, let your elbows release. Let your body shape to the pose in the same way water finds its own level. And we'll spend a couple of minutes letting this pose as a prayer begin to release and relax us open. It may be kind of tight or constricted or constrained at the start, but that's to be expected. But it's also to be expected if we put ourselves patiently in a pose and we give it time, then things will open up. The breathing begins to slow down. The focal point of the breath moves deeper into the body, more and more and more toward your belly button. Breathing from our belly button, diaphragmatic breathing, is going to have marvelous effects on our nervous system. Two more minutes. It just starts to get good now. No rush. Okay, biggest, deepest inhale you got. Big inhale, staying in the pose. Exhale, let it go. Okay, let's get ourselves out, but really being patient, honoring the cultivated sense of peace in our body. Our movements are calm and peaceful. Good, now I'll unwind myself from that. I'm going to move this bolster off to the side and we'll kind of come back to square one together. I hope you enjoyed that. We have a couple more poses to go. But I also am a meditation teacher. So as a meditation teacher, you can read all about it at my website. It's upwardspiralyoga.com. Isn't that easy to remember? Upward Spiral Yoga, all spelled together phonetically. It's in the description if you're watching on YouTube. Upward Spiral Yoga, there's a lot of information, a lot of classes, a lot of guided talks about meditation, but I believe it to be the highest of human spiritual activities. And if you don't do it, you could start, and we could do it for 1 minute. Simply close your eyes, take your attention inward, and watch whatever happens like a movie. Be an observer of the movie of your own mind. It might be very jumbled inside of your head. On the other hand, if you meditate a lot, that will begin to calm down and you'll be able to find a peace and a sanctuary, a sacred within that will ultimately become your most valuable possession of life. As crazy as that might sound, it is the pearl of great price. So just breathe together. We are calm, peaceful souls if we practice it. We are agitated, insane if we don't. For most humans, honestly, the idea of meditating seems tedious, boring, waste of time, idle, foolish. But we have to listen to the wisdom of the saints, the sages, the holy ones, the avatars that have come before us. And when they say that there's a sanctuary on the inside, that through diligent practice and becoming quiet that we could find, we would be wise to listen. Many are called, few are choosing. Okay, we'll chant an Om and then we'll move into our next restorative pose. Big inhale. Feel that. We are calm, peaceful souls. Everything is always working out for us. And the true sense of the holy, the sacred, and the reverent is blossoming inside of our being because we're sincerely seeking it, if we are. Good, my friends. Now I've got an interesting restorative pose. And if it wasn't done in a restorative and supportive fashion, It might really, technical terms, suck, but since I've been teaching the yoga game for a while, I've got an idea on how to do this, and here's what we're going to do. Okay? Trust me, even if you don't know me. Trust me anyway. I'm going to roll up a little blanket for my neck. This, any kind of blanket will do. But you can see that I've made a nice little neck roll down here. And watch where I put this blanket. I put this blanket over here. Now, watch me get into this. Don't go yet, okay? You don't want to do this one wrong. So, first thing I do, I support my neck. Then I put this underneath my rear, right there. Okay, now my neck and my rear are supported. When I do that, bringing my knees in allows me to relax. Without the blanket here and the one here, this really can strain you, and we don't want to strain, but as I bring my knees in, I can just hug my knees. If you're a little more flexible, you could lace around your knees. If you're more flexible, elbows around your knees. But as I get in this, I'm calling this Easter egg pose. And when my knees come in, the tendency is for my neck to lift and my butt to lift. And with about a minute and a half or 2 minutes, my neck will start to lengthen and relax. My lower back will relax. My hips will release. My shoulders will drop. And if you trust me and do Easter egg pose with me, even if you're an Easter agnostic, you will enjoy the benefits. Now, I feel like I need to pull the blanket in a little more. Then my knees come in. That's it. Now, over a minute, my knees are going to start, my butt's going to start to relax. Roll my neck around a little. And it's Easter agnostic pose. Of course, if we're wildly flexible, if we're 5 years old and you can bring your knees in and wrap your shoulders around your knees and your butt doesn't lift and your neck doesn't crinkle. But again, I'm largely aiming at an audience. You're either probably over 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 80 or 120. But irrespective of chronological age, maybe you're 20 years old and just tight as hell and you've abused your body. And if you just do some yin yoga, some restorative yoga with me, now I can feel a deep lengthening and relaxation of my neck. I can feel my lower back starting to relax. I could wrap my elbows. This is nice. I wrap my elbows underneath. Oh, this is nice. I wrap my elbows underneath my knees. If you haven't liked this so far, I do give you permission and dispensation to take your elbows around your knees. That might allow you to widen your knees. That might fit the shape of your hips better. For me, it's better for my knee. I've got a little bit of a meniscus interference. And we're going to be in Easter egg pose for 1 more minute. Remember the movie Field of Dreams? If you build it, they will come. If you build this pose, the people will come, the people of peace, relaxation, healing, calm, serenity, wise perception. Those people will come. Wow, I invented a brand new restorative pose. I'm not much, but I'm all I think about. I love this, especially the blanket underneath my sacrum, my tail feathers, my vestigial tail. I kind of wish I still had my tail, like my cat. This pose would not be very happy without the blanket underneath my neck and my booty buns, but with the blankets there, this is a revelation. Look, we're already at the last book of the Bible. We've gone from the Genesis of the class through all 66 books. Now we're at Revelation, Easter agnostic pose. All right, now I'm just going to take my legs up, get a few seconds of reverse circulation, Viparita Karani. This is really good for circulation down into your body. It's a curative for very close veins. We'll bend our knees. We'll put our feet on the floor. Gently lift your booty buns. Get the block or the blanket out of the way. And we'll prepare for our concluding pose. This is going to be a deep, long relaxation pose for about 5 minutes. Would you honor me with a chanting of Om? For me, that's highly sacred and reverent. I'm grateful to chant Om with my friends. I feel it's very healing and it opens up our throat chakra. Inhale. Feel that. We are calm and peaceful souls, holy, sacred, and reverent. Now, the finishing pose, remember, I'm a diversity, equity, and inclusion guy. I'm all for that, but I'm also an equality of opportunity guy. So this one has a lot of opportunities. So I'm going to put a bolster here. Now, of course, this could just be a bunch of blankets and pillows. This is the counter pose for what we just did. I just really want our knees lifted before we had our butt lifted, right? So this is the coup de grace, the pièce de résistance, all the French words, I don't know what I'm saying. My knees are way lifted, could be blankets or pillows. My neck is bolstered. Cover yourself with a blanket if you want. Don't cover your face, it'll freak out your family members. And now 5 minutes of pure, delicious, unadulterated, deep relaxation where we can let, if you will, I certainly will and always will, let the Holy Spirit in. Define that as you will. You get a God of your own understanding. The pose starts now. Turn my timer on for 5 minutes. I'll enjoy it with you. And the pose starts now. The ecstasy kicks in. We open the tap of cosmic, the nectar of bliss. Relax. We are calm and peaceful souls. Okay, my friends, stay in this pose. Relax even more. It's just there's that guy's voice from a million miles away. And my feeling when I do Shavasana relaxed version is that my spirit body expands out from my physical body. Now I breathe it back toward my skin. Our body is just the smallest expression of our true self, vast, beyond time and space. But it's nice to have a physical body to cruise around in. So I'm breathing back toward my body, Breathe back toward yours. And as we begin to come back toward our body, here's a Sunday ritual that I offer, and this is always from choice. But if you'd like to invite God, love, source, infinite higher organizing, whatever you'd like to call it in, now's the time. Now is the appointed time. I love praying that prayer personally, but it's always from choice, never from convincing or coercion. But if you prayed that simple prayer with me, wiggle your fingers and toes and circulate extra super feel God through yourself, that true source elixir of life. And on this sacred day, we can be restored and renewed. The story means nothing if it's not true in our own experience, in our own life. Good, then we'll draw our knees in and we will curl to our right side, fetal position. Okay, and then keeping our eyes closed to keep the peaceful countenance on the inside, we'll sit back up and we'll arrange ourselves back to square one, axis mundi. Each and every one of us is the center of the universe that has no boundary and no circumference. We bring our hands into the heart. And if you go deep into your heart and I go deep into mine, we come to the same place together. The origin, the sacred, the inner sanctum. And on this great day that represents the restoration, the rebirth for all of us, all together we say, Namaste. All right. So I'm grateful that you joined. I believe anytime two or more are gathered, whether it's in person or through Zoom or YouTube or social media, there's a connection that we all share. So thank you for sharing that. I hope you feel regenerated and renewed. Go enjoy this beautiful day. If you watched on YouTube live or recorded, please like and subscribe. That'd be a huge Easter egg favor for me. It helps to get the word out of yoga and peace and love and tolerance and spiritual connection to a world that could really use it. So you could help me, you could help yourself, you could help the world by spreading the goodness, the love and light of spiritual practice. Thank you for liking and subscribing. We'll see you all soon. Thanks to my Zoom friends. It was great to have you. Peace, love, and joy. And we'll see you guys